The gospel we just read is a gospel that really the church continuously is trying to really give us a glimpse how much Jesus loved us. He is in the atmosphere of the Last Supper. He's looking around and he is seeing these 11 guys there, very sad faces, and he wants to lift them up. He wants to tell them not to be afraid, because he is going to come, to go to the Father, and he will prepare a place for them. And in the meantime, they will receive that power from above. And then he gave them his priestly advice. You are in the world, but you are not of the world. Father, I am coming to you, but they are still in the world. And I pray that the evil one will not destroy them. Because I know that although they are willing to do good, there is something within us that is not of God, because we came from sin. Today is the first day of the Novena of St. Rita. And I want to give you a little story, the story of St. Rita, how this saint came about. It was in 1374 in Spoleto, where Rita was born. Her name was Margherita, and she was born to a very elderly couple. And this couple, because this girl was the only girl they have, they want her to be married before they close their eyes. Rita showed the interest that she will become religious, but her parents said, no, you will be married. And so they found a man for her. That's the way it was that time. You don't find your boyfriend, your mother and father will buy you your boyfriend. You like that? I don't think so. But the only thing is, that is the way it is. The marriage was arranged. And although the husband that they found was coming from a rich family, but he was, as we say, short fuse, like somebody who was preaching. And he used to really be very disrespectful to her, and he used to even abuse her, whether it is with his language, with his hands, and even treat her like she was a dog. But Rita was a very faithful husband, a woman, and she tried to please her husband by being a good wife. And we know that during the course of that marriage, after 7 years, they conceived 2 children. And these 2 children begin to grow. Of course, the father, he began to take them with his company of friends. And before we know it, these children become very vindictive, and they were very, ugly, and Rita was very displeased. She was very much angry at her husband for what she is doing to these kids. And she tried her best that when they are in her protection to give them the truth. But they will laugh at her. You say, because Daddy is not the way they taught us. And so Rita really prayed for them, that these children will change their ways. Well, 20 years of her marriage, her husband was stabbed to death by his very enemies. And the one who stabbed him was a friend of the family. He was very friendly with them. In fact, it was because of power, to take him away, because the father was coming to his elderly age, and he's going to take over. It's like the little mafia, that was what it was. And we see that he was going to take over, and they stabbed him so that he would not take over, somebody else would. And these 2 children determined that they will take they make their mind to make vendetta over the killer of their father. And they search for him. And they have an idea who was the killer. In fact, was a member of the family. And they were plotting how to kill him. And Rita prayed that it is better her children die than to carry their vindictive ways that they have in their hearts. Imagine what a Christian mother she was. It's better to lose her children in this life than to lose them for eternity. How many mothers do that today? That's Rita for you. She prayed that they will change their minds. God will change their hearts. And if not, even to take them. And as they were traveling one day over the bridge collapsed and the two children died instantly. Now Rita found herself alone in the world. And with penance and prayers, she tried to knock at the door of the Augustinians. But you know, she was a married woman. It was unheard for a married woman to enter the religious order. You have to be a single. You have to be a virgin. You are a bride of Christ. And the Constitution does not even allow it. And we know that she knocked and the door was closed to her. She went to her bishop to plead for her. But there was no response. Finally, she appealed to the Pope. And she wrote him herself that she would like to be an Augustinian. Will he intercede for her? Well, as we say, she is the impossible saint. Is that true? And that's what happened. The impossibility become possible. Rita became an Augustinian. And she followed the rule. She was tested many times by her superior. She asked her to take a dead branch and tell her go and put it in the ground and water it every day. And Rita, under obedience, she did. But of surprise to her superior, that branch became a beautiful rosebury. And today, if you go to Kasia, that bush of rose is still there. That's why Saint Rita is associated with roses, and red roses. Yellow roses for Teresa, but red for Rita. And we know that her superior to challenge her with many, many, many other things. But one Good Friday, while Rita was praying, she looked at the cross and she said, Divine Master, how much I love you. Give me a thorn. Give me some of what passion of suffering that you endured during this passion that you had. And all of a sudden, from the thorn of the cross, a thorn flew out from the cross and went on her forehead. And that bring wound in her face. And the wound was not